Welcome back to Panoramic Mystery Events, where we explore phenomena that defy easy explanation. Tonight we're diving into 3 cases that continue to baffle researchers and fuel local legends. From a cosmic spiral in Iceland to a phantom figure in the Australian outback, these stories will make you question what's really out there. Our first stop is the remote northern coast of Iceland. Picture this: it's 41 minutes past midnight. A lone fisherman, enjoying the quiet of the Arctic night, points his camera toward the sky. What he captures is nothing short of extraordinary. A colossal spiral of light materializes out of nowhere, slowly rotating counterclockwise against the backdrop of stars. The outer ring of the spiral seems to breathe, pulsing with a gentle rhythmic glow, fading in and out. The fisherman noticed other strange things happening simultaneously. The seabirds that were circling nearby suddenly fell silent and vanished from the area, as if startled by an unseen force. On his boat, the needle of his compass began to spin erratically, no longer pointing north, but instead twitching uncontrollably. He kept filming, mesmerized and unnerved. Then, just as mysteriously as it appeared, the entire celestial structure collapsed inward on itself, like water swirling down a drain, and disappeared in an instant. There was no sound, no explosion, just an abrupt return to the dark, silent sky. When the footage was later analyzed, experts were stumped. The Icelandic Meteorological Office officially stated that whatever the fishermen saw, it was not a weather event. They had no record of auroras, rocket launches, or atmospheric conditions that could produce such a perfectly formed rotating spiral. For the locals, however, the explanation was far more ancient and mystical. They call it the Sky Gate, a legendary portal that is said to open only under the rarest of conditions. To this day, the video remains a powerful piece of evidence for a phenomenon that science simply cannot explain. What was this spiral? A natural anomaly, a technological test, or something else entirely? Next, we travel from the cold shores of Iceland to the scorching, endless sands of the Sahara Desert in Egypt. A small group of experienced off-road enthusiasts were on a multi-day journey, crossing one of the most desolate landscapes on Earth. Days into their trip, far from any civilization, they witnessed something that would haunt them forever. About 60 meters ahead of their convoy, walking in the same direction they were heading, was a figure. This wasn't just any person, it was an exact copy of one of the men in their own group. They stopped their vehicle, stunned into silence. The figure wore the exact same clothes, had the same build, and even mimicked the man's distinct walking style. It was a perfect doppelgänger. But as they watched, they noticed 2 impossibly wrong details. First, its shadow was cast in the wrong direction, falling toward the sun instead of away from it. And second, despite walking on soft sand, the figure left no footprints. The sand behind it remained perfectly smooth, untouched. Overcoming their initial shock, they decided to cautiously approach. As they got closer, the figure stopped and turned to face them. What happened next was the most terrifying part. Its mouth stretched open, unnaturally wide, far beyond human limits, revealing a dark, empty void inside. In the same moment, the entire figure distorted and flickered like a digital camera glitch, breaking apart into a burst of visual static before vanishing completely. The strangest part? They saw this distortion with their own eyes, not through a camera lens. When they later recounted their story to local Bedouin guides, they were met with solemn nods. The guides were not surprised. They have a name for this terrifying apparition: the Second Walker. According to their legends, it is a harbinger, a desert spirit that mimics travelers to lure them off course. Was it a mirage, a shared hallucination brought on by the extreme heat, or is there truly a phantom walker haunting the sands of the Sahara? Our final mystery takes us to the vast empty heart of Australia on a lonely stretch of the Stuart Highway. This long straight road cuts through thousands of kilometers of desert, with very little traffic or signs of life. Over the years, numerous drivers have reported a deeply unsettling and consistent sequence of events in a particular section of this highway. It starts with the radio. Regardless of the station, it suddenly cuts out, replaced by a deep, vibrating static hum. Then a voice emerges from the static, a clear, childlike voice that says just 2 words: "Don't stop." Immediately after the voice, things get even weirder. Dashcam footage from multiple incidents confirms what happens next. The road ahead begins to warp and blur as if looking through intense heat haze, even on a cool night. The metal road signs along the highway appear to bend and twist as if they were made of rubber, and then the figure appears. Standing right in the middle of the lane is a tall, unnervingly thin humanoid shape. Its body seems to vibrate rapidly, making it look blurry and not entirely solid, like a mirage with a physical form. Drivers have reported that if they instinctively slow down, the static on the radio grows deafeningly loud and the figure seems to become more solid, more defined. The overwhelming feeling is one of pure dread. The only way to make it stop is to obey the voice, to push the accelerator and speed up. As soon as they do, the figure, the distorted road, and the static vanish as quickly as they appeared, leaving the drivers alone on the dark, empty highway once more. Australian authorities have investigated the reports, but their official explanation is unverified atmospheric interference. However, for the truck drivers and locals who frequent that route, it's known by a much more direct name, the no-stop zone. What is causing this phenomenon? Is it some sort of geological or atmospheric anomaly that affects both electronics and human perception? Or is there truly a ghostly figure guarding that stretch of road with a chilling warning for anyone who dares to slow down? From a celestial vortex in the Icelandic sky to a spectral twin in the Egyptian desert and a vibrating phantom on an Australian highway, these events push the boundaries of our understanding. Each one is backed by video evidence or multiple eyewitness accounts, yet they remain outside the realm of conventional science. Are these glitches in our reality windows into another dimension or simply tricks of the mind? The questions remain and the mysteries endure. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Panoramic Mystery Events. What do you think is behind these phenomena? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoy exploring the unexplained, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation. Stay curious.